So the question is, how did that do? I was full sprint on that, and now I'm doing it again. So, well, not full sprint, but I'm moving. I mean, I'm definitely moving. Welcome to the Better Buy, where I give you the information you need on the stuff that you want so you can make the better buy. In this video, I'm going to be covering the DJI Pocket 3. I'm going to give you everything you need to know to make a buying decision on this camera. I've compared it to the iPhone 11 Pro, the Insta360 X3, and the Insta360 Go 3 footage later. Now, here's what's special about this review. I know you saw the length of this video. I'm going to answer pretty much give you all of my conclusions within the next few minutes, but after that, I've included all of my test footage broken down so you can see how I came to my conclusions. And if you disagree with when you're watching the video, you disagree with my conclusions, that's fine. My goal is to try and help you make a buying decision. So I'm trying to give you the information you need to do that. And while most YouTube videos that I make and other people make, we try and keep them really short and punchy and all that kind of stuff, I want to try and help you make a buying decision. So if this video helps you make a buying decision, the link is in the description. I'd love for you to use that if you do decide to buy. But again, my goal isn't necessarily to get you to buy it. It's just to help you make a buying decision on it. So like the video, please comment down below. I freaking love the people that are commenting because I love getting in the conversation. And like some people bring up stuff that I'm not even thinking about, and it's really wonderful just to see all that. So if you've already been in the comments and like the first video that I made, thank you. I genuinely appreciate it, and I really enjoy reading and talking with you guys in there. So let's do a couple things really quickly. The first footage that's going to come once this little section finishes is the iPhone and the Pocket 3 comparison. I took it basically in darkness. It was like before sunrise, and I compared the front-facing camera with the Pocket 3 and the back-facing camera with the Pocket 3 in vertical and horizontal mode, so you can see those differences. My conclusion is that in low light, this thing absolutely destroys it. I think you can all agree with that from what you've seen online and everything. The 1-inch sensor is huge. The stabilization is great. And then if you're in like a spotlight, kind of like I was under a street lamp, then this one does okay, like under the light, but as soon as you start to step back, it becomes a problem. But in daylight, it's very interesting because in daylight, this front-facing camera compared with the Pocket 3, it's pretty close. Like I would say that it's so close, and you'll see my comparison, that someone just swiping through social media is not going to notice the difference. So if you don't have the money to get one of these and film yourself like that, your iPhone, and this is the 11 Pro, if you have a higher end iPhone, then you're probably going to be fine quality wise as long as you're not filming in lower light. And this goes to the person that's, just trying to, film videos at home or whatever, capture stuff. I think you're good. But I don't think this camera was made for that person. This camera, I believe, this is my personal opinion, you can comment if you agree, was made for the person it's the future videographer, the one that's thinking about turning this into a career. This is an incredibly well done price point for a gimbal camera, high quality gimbal camera. Like, I film on the DJI RS2 Pro combo with an EOS R full frame 24-105 f4 lens, and I filmed a lot of stuff on that. I film like local 5K races and stuff like that, and cross country running, and I run with that camera, like a lot of running, and it's heavy, that whole setup. I started filming those things with this sucker, and it was incredible. Like, number one, when you freaking turn the thing off, okay? Just let me get excited for a second, because when you turn this thing off, it goes off in like 2 seconds. It's gone, and then you can run you can run all over the place with it. And when you need to film again, it's a quick little turn on, and this thing is up and running in no time. Like, it's stupid fast, okay? So the speed that this thing goes on and off is incredible. When I film with the RS2 or whatever, I typically just leave the thing on. I might turn the camera off, but I leave the thing on while I'm running around, and I'm having to run in like this stabilized place until I get to where I'm going to film. So it depends on what kind of filmmaking you're doing, obviously. You need to know what you're trying to film with this, which will get me to the X3 in a second. But my main thing is, I believe this camera is a perfect starter camera for someone who is trying to get into videography, cinematic style shooting. I don't think there's anything on the market that's going to come close to this. So I highly recommend it for those reasons. Now, if you're someone that's just looking at cameras in general to start making videos and stuff, if you're going to be doing action sports, I have used this for like 2 or 3 months now. I love the X3. I love the 360 footage. I love being able to edit it and play with it and all that kind of stuff. One of the issues with it though, it is terrible in lower light, and it is good, not great, in bright light. I did a ton of comparison between these two at different qualities like 4K, 3K, 2.7K, the different frame rates, low light, shade, and what I found was as soon as I hit the shade, this thing turned me into a degenerate old man, and this thing stayed high quality. And so you need to know your use case, figure out what you're trying to do. I know that while I'm running and filming my running stuff, I'm going to keep using this. My other channel is the Pun Runner. I'll put it in the description, but it's the Pun Runner. And it's where I test all these cameras. Like I film myself running and do running documentaries and vlogs and stuff. So that's what I got these for, is that kind of stuff. And so I'm still going to use this a lot, but I don't think I'm ever going to really run with this one. Mainly because it's just not something I want to carry around and run with. I learned that when I was filming originally with the DJI Osmo Mobile 3 and the phone. I did that for a couple months and it was not great. I didn't love that. So you need to know what you're trying to do with the camera. But if it's action sports, if it's going to require a lot of movement, if there's going to be dust, then you need an action camera, period. Go get the Action 4 or the X3, figure out what kind of quality and style you want to film. I love the 360 because I love the field of view. I feel like it's unique, it's dynamic, it's novel for a lot of people, so that's exciting for me. I love the ability to edit in post. That's a huge thing for me, that I can reframe and all that kind of stuff. So that is why I love the X3. However, if you're someone that's trying to get footage into another workflow with higher quality cameras, then there's no question this is the one you need of those, the Go 3, whatever the Action 4. This is still the one you need. I think this will fulfill most of those things. Some of my issues with this camera, I'm going to run through like a couple of my main issues and then I'll be done, and the rest of the footage will be for you to just peruse and get to know the camera and audio and all that kind of stuff. Some of my main issues are that when you put the wide angle, actually let's just start with the basics here. This part right here is not very strong in its lock-in, okay? These two are, like this thing, you have to really move it to get it out. And the same thing with this one. But the part where the lens locks in is magnetic. It's just not a very strong magnetic. So I did have that happen a few times, and that's a little sketchy to me because now the lens is just flopping around and that could go wrong. So I would love to see that a little bit stronger. Another issue that I have with this camera is that when you put the field of view on, it can't close. The wider field of view. I think DJI could have given us, or I'd like to see them in a future, in a model or whatever, give us enough space that you can leave that field of view on, because I would like to use that wider field of view regularly, but what I found was I kept just not using it because I wanted to be able to turn the camera off quickly and move, and you have to take that off every time or just leave it flopping. So that's an issue for me. I do love the magnet thing. One thing that I discovered, which was kind of nice, is that the black mist filter, which I don't have and would never use, is a perfect place to put the magnet for the mic. So if you're someone that's, trying to figure that out, this is a great place. You can carry everything in one spot, and I love that. I also discovered that you can very easily, it takes maybe a little bit of work, but you can easily keep all of this in here together, even while it's in the case. So that's a really nice bonus. Like you can just keep all that together, and that's what I've been doing. The mic can obviously sit here. I basically never have it like that, but you can do that. So just something to consider. The mic quality is exceptional. I absolutely love this mic. I don't have anything negative to say about it. So they've done a really good job with this. I love the automatic pairing. One thing I don't love is every time you turn the camera on and connects, it leaves the display like you have connected to the mic on the screen for a pretty long time, which is kind of annoying. But it's not terrible. It just kind of gets in the way. So I'd like to see that just not happen every time or go away faster. The wind muff is great. One thing that I loved about this is you can connect it to the Rode mic thing. They have a little Rode, I'll put a picture on the screen. But what I did is I connected this to the Rode, and then I interviewed people, or I had other people interview people, and it worked really well. So I like that. But I'm actually kind of going back and forth between positives and negatives now. One thing that I really don't like is the fact that you can't just go straight into this without having the adapter. they could, I would just love to see them put this USB insert somewhere else so you could have the 1/4 inch thread down here. Because this, I don't love that you have to have that little thing. I would love to be able to just bink right here, and that would actually be a great length for carrying and using the camera. So just something to consider in the future, but nothing I think that would affect a buying decision necessarily. One thing that I don't love is the price point of these batteries. This is like $60, whereas like the Insta360 batteries are $34. So basically half the price, and you're getting more battery. This does not give you a ton of battery charge from my experience with it. It gets it back to like 60% or whatever. And I mean, it's good enough like for most use cases, and you could grab a couple of these and you'd be fine. But I would love to see either a cheaper battery or a longer lasting version of this battery. I just feel like there could be more with that. So just something there. I don't love that price point. One thing that I still don't like about this camera, and I had some conversations with people in the comments, was the SD card slot. Number one, it's a little hard to get stuff in and out, not a major deal, but the fact that they don't include an SD card with the creator combo, I think is a little bit silly. You could easily put some inbuilt storage. I'd love to see like 32 gigabytes of storage in here, so maybe in the future, but I'd also love to see them include an SD card there. I actually tried to find this mic 2 online to buy another one, just to see if you could buy another one, and you can't even get the creator combo anymore. It's all sold out. So that's something to consider. But overall, I think that this gives you kind of the general overview of my conclusion. I think this camera is perfect for the starter videographer who's trying to get into, you know, cinema style filming, more dynamic footage, whatever. It does work for vlogs. The tracking is great. All of that's nice. You're going to see how, in my opinion, I think it's a little more, well, it is. It's a little more wobbly than like the action cameras. Their stabilization is better just because of how they do it. This one, because the gimbal does move a little bit, if you've had experience with gimbals, you know you have to kind of maneuver the gimbal to make it look good. It's not as straightforward as an action camera, but you get a lot of benefits from the gimbal as a result of that. Okay, so that would be kind of my quick walkthrough overview, under 10 minutes or right around 10 minutes, if you will. And if you want to know more, the rest of the test footage is there for you. You're going to hear me talk and walk through and think through this camera as I came to my own conclusions. So I hope that this helped you. If it did, would you please like the video, jump in the comments. I love the conversation, and subscribe to the channel because I want to keep doing stuff like this. And if it's helping you, then you can help me by subscribing and sharing the video with friends and people that you know are interested in video. So, all right, that's what I got. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one.